5, touchdown Longview!
It's Longview and Waco Midway. The winner advances to the state semifinal. And here to tell you about tonight's game, Brent Taylor and Johnny Vaughn.
Well, Waco Midway 12-1. They have a really good football team. Of course, this round you don't expect anything less than that. Longview 11-2 on the season. A tough-minded team that likes to impose their will on the other team. And Midway, a team very talented, particularly on the offensive side of the ball, John.
Yeah, they got, arguably the best running back in the state in 4A. Statistically, I don't think that you're going to find anybody with bigger numbers. He's got almost 2,600 yards rushing on the season. He's got 37 touchdowns. Last week against Highland Park, he scored 4 touchdowns. The shortest run of all of those 4 was 24 yards. So they've got a powerful runner in John Hubert, and then they've got some other talented players. They've got a tight end that's going to the University of Texas in Trey Graham, and then they've got a split end that's actually going to play baseball, Gleesman, at A&M. And the running back is going to go to a Division I school, and the left tackle, Ty Horn, is committed to TCU. So that's a lot of talent on the offensive side. I don't think that they're not a big play team passing wise, at least for the long passes, but they'll get the intermediate routes, and they've got the great back. And to be honest with you, Brent, it wouldn't surprise me to see him get over 30 carries. It's a back that they just give it to a lot and expect a lot out of him. So far this season, he's delivered.
Okay, so what about the keys?
I think the key, last week we talked about the front 7 for Longview to be the key to victory. But I think tonight the key for Longview to win the game, you're not going to stop the back Hubert from getting yards, but what you want to do is not let him hit you with a long run. And I mentioned against Highland Park last week, he had 4 touchdowns, the shortest one 24 yards. What you want to do is make them get 5, 6, 7 yards at a time and go the length of the field. That you got a chance for fumbles and other things to happen. And then I think another key, and this is one of the things that really worries me about this game, is the tremendous size difference between their receivers and our defensive backs. The defensive backs have got to step up. You're never going to overcome giving away 7 and 8 and 9 inches in a foot, but what you can do is you can punish receivers, and especially teams like this that are going to run some curls and some crossing routes and some things as opposed to just up the sideline. You can punish them after they catch the ball and make them think about the defensive secondary being there. But that's a really, especially, when the field gets short, a lot of times it's hard to find open lanes. But if you got 7 inches or with a 6'6" wide receiver, you're probably talking about 10 inches, then you can do some stuff where you just put it up and they've got a chance to make a play.
6'6" and 6'5" on the outside. Longview's on the field. They're in their white jerseys, white pants, green helmets. And Waco Midway will come. Their red jerseys, white numbers, white pants, and white helmet. Denton Geyer advanced today. Denton
Geyer did win, and so that will be the opponent for whoever wins here. If it happens to be us, we'll play Saturday in Texas Stadium again. We also might mention that Lake Travis, the defending champion, has beaten Killeen today 71-9. And I was kind of looking through the top 10 that we started with when these playoffs, and in 4A, Brent, there's only 4 teams left in the top 10. Lake Travis and Everman is standing at 1 and 2, and of course Everman's in the small school division, and then Longview and Hewitt Midway. So after tonight, there's only going to be 3 left, and in 5A, the top 4 teams have already gone down. The only ones left are Allen, Pearland, and Hightower. So and Pearland and Hightower have not played yet today, or they've played, but we don't know the score. So the top 10 are falling by the wayside, and we're getting down to some low numbers left on the number of teams, and some of these teams are going to be unranked, but they're going to be good teams. And Denton Geyer, next week's opponent for one of these 2 teams, is one of those.
Well, there's one thing about Longview. In some point of the course of the game, I talked about it a lot of times, at some point Longview's going to find out who the toughest is. So if Waco, and I don't mean that in any sarcastic way, that's just the way they play. Our national anthem. Longview making their 8th straight trip to the playoffs. This is the 2nd straight year they've gotten to round 4. The teams have never played. Longview coached by John King, and Waco Midway coached by Kent Bachtel. The temperature tonight is 51 degrees, expected to go into the upper 40s. A beautiful night for football here in Texas Stadium. One of the few games left in Texas Stadium. The captains for tonight's game for Longview, Cody Taylor and Vinnie Portley. I want to go back to what I was going to say, and I mean, but at one point in the game, this is a very talented team. You saw them play last week, Midway, 6'6", 6'5" on the outside, a quarterback 6'6", and a very talented running back. So a handful, but on offense, Longview likes to impose their will also, John.
Well, defensively, Hubert has been getting 25 carries a game. But I can tell you they've not played anybody as physical as Longview this year. I mean, even though we haven't seen all their games, obviously, it's just we've seen Longview play, and they are going to punish Hubert. And you always wonder at some point if that doesn't start to wear back down when he gets hit as often and as hard as he's going to get hit here tonight. And then offensively, Longview at some point, when games get tight, they always go back to the things that they do best, which is taking the ball and run it right at you. They talked about Carter's running attack in last week's game, and Brent, the reality of the situation was that Longview controlled that game on offense. They took the ball and ran it right at Carter, something probably nobody had done all season, and every time Carter made a push, Longview answered that with a touchdown of their own, and so they can throw the football, but the bottom line is they can also play power football, and I suspect tonight that we may see some of that at some point.